Hello, my name is Patrick and I am a sculptor, and today I'm sculpting Mirabel from Encanto. This channel is all about sharing the process of making, art encouragement, and offering helpful instructions so you can grow as an artist. And really, there's no better place to explore the insecurity of the artist than that of the family Madrigal. Encanto is a colorful film about a superpowered family, all sort of crumbling under the pressure to perform and to be perfect, and in the case of Mirabel, wildly underestimating her value. I wanted to talk about these three dangers for us as an artist: the danger of performance, the danger to be perfect, the danger of wildly underestimating ourselves. So watch out as we look closer at Louisa, Isabella, and Mirabel and explore the three dangers that face artists. Louisa is super strong. At least that's her superpower. She's shown lifting buildings and making impressive things happen. And you might be wondering how a person like Louisa could relate to the work of an artist. Well, friends, it actually comes down to what's hiding in Louisa's heart. In her song Surface Pressure, she sings two really important lines. I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can't be of service. Who am I if I can't run with the ball? And these hit me deep as an artist, because whether my art is good or not, there is a major drive to produce. Make, sculpt, and there is a quiet, often unmentioned fear about what happens when we stop. Are you like this? Do you drive yourself to keep going out of fear of what happens when you stop? I can't help but think all artists feel this way sometimes. We push ourselves towards success, and should we find the smallest amount of it, it only pushes us to drive further. And the questions tend to linger. What if my next piece sucks? What if people stop caring about what I make because the next thing isn't great? And we can get stuck in this rhythm of endless production so that the good times never stop, and nagging fear that even still, eventually, I'm going to drop the ball. And if you've ever felt that way, I want to encourage you to do what Louisa does eventually. Take a break. It's okay. You don't need to produce in order for people to love your work. In truth, if people are there following, subscribing, or buying your work, it's because they like it, and that isn't going to change. The pressure to perform and to keep performing, will inevitably break you, kill your creative spirit, and become something of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So stop. Take a break. It's okay. Your value is not tied into your performance. Isabella grows perfect flowers, and actually is presented as essentially perfect throughout the majority of the film. And I don't have to work hard to draw a line between Isabella and an artist, because almost every artist I know struggles with perfectionism. The desire to get the piece just right, the need to fuss over intricate, almost unnoticeable details till it's done. The pressure to be perfect is very real in the life of an artist. Perfectionism is a blessing and a curse. It helps drive you to better things, it focuses you to take that extra effort, and it means what you do you can often be incredibly proud of. But in another way, I wouldn't be surprised if the perfectionist life will also end your art career. Every time I watch a video explaining how to draw or sketch, how to paint, I hear the same advice. You have to be loose and rough and free. And these words run counter to that of perfection. Perfection tends to be tight and smooth and ordered. And this is Isabella in a nutshell. When we finally break through her exterior, we find out that she's been holding herself, who she is and what she does, so tightly that she's about to break. But there is hope for the perfectionist. And Isabella proves it. She does something without intention or meaning. She does something without a clear goal or thought. She decides to just be and unlock something amazing within. She sings, "What could I do if I just knew it didn't need to be perfect? It just needed to be, and they let me be." And these words feel the most true to me. Who would you be if you just focused on being you as an artist? Not perfect, not great, not ordered, or under the expectations of others, just you. She goes on, what can you do when you know who you want to be isn't perfect? And for me, this idea of choosing imperfection unlocks a crazy amount of potential. What if you started your next piece with one rule? It doesn't have to be perfect. Because perfection is a sort of kind of expression, isn't it? It's one very specific form of expressing, but there are more ways to do things than the perfect way. And in fact, we live in a society so focused on efficiency and perfection in our various systems that we could probably do with artists speaking loudly a voice of imperfection. So give yourself permission to be free and imperfect, and find out what else you might do. Mirabel is so much. She's caring, thoughtful, she holds her family together, and is the only one willing to look beyond herself to see the problems. And the weird thing about Mirabel is that she doesn't really have an on-paper gift, not like the others. And of course, that's sort of the whole driving plot around her character. She's the anomaly. By the end of the film, there's a compelling argument to be made about her contribution to the family with or without powers, and this makes Mirabel an incredibly relatable character. While Louisa fears dropping the ball, and Isabella fears doing something imperfect, Mirabel simply fears that she doesn't live up to the world around her, to her family. And in doing so, she walks into the danger of underestimating herself. And I feel this as an artist. I've talked a bit about it before. You can't escape the wildly successful worlds of Instagrams and YouTubers and Etsy shops. There are infinitely talented people out there who seem to have special gifts that just dropped into their lap and brought about their success. They're hailed as artistic super beings and have managed their own success out of it. And here I am, just a normal, trying to live up to the artist. I can't help but feel like Mirabel just off camera. Just a little forgotten or left behind. And when she sings, she speaks so clearly to the feelings most artists feel. I'm still at that door, longing to shine like all of you shine. She feels held back and limited, stuck in a moment where the things she wanted to happen didn't happen. And as such feels like a letdown, a failure to launch, and incomplete. She sings about this again, singing, I would move the mountains, make new trees and flowers grow. Someone please just let me know, where do I go? I'm waiting on a miracle, a miracle. She longs to move mountains like her stronger, more capable sister. She would love to make flowers grow like her perfect sister. But instead, she's stuck waiting. Mirabel underestimates her strengths because they don't match her family. Mirabel underestimates her contribution because it doesn't seem as great as the work of others. Mirabel sees less of herself even though she has just as much good to bring to the table. And the film really tells an important story to people like Mirabel, to artists like me and maybe you who feel like they just can't fully launch their art careers. People who undervalue their work, their contribution, their art. And you're like Mirabel. She doesn't have to be anything more than herself to find her path, and neither do you. She holds on to who she is, and she does what she does regardless of others. Her family shuts her down, and she pushes on. Her family cuts her off, and she fights to see them. Her family avoids her, and she chases them through the walls. Despite not feeling like she has it, she bravely pushes on, and when the moment comes, she's there and ready to act. And if you, like me, often underestimate yourself, let me encourage you to be like Mirabel, to forge on. The world of art is complicated by social media and the commercialization of your passion. And it can be hard to remember that social media success and financial success are not the markers of the value of your art. They're certainly nice, but you can make something amazing and inspiring to others without going viral or earning you a paycheck. And this is great in itself. So please, don't underestimate yourself, but instead see yourself as we all see Mirabel in the film, as someone of value, and press on, because you'll be surprised by the impact you can have. And with that, let's take a look at the final piece, and I'll be back to sign off. And there we have Mirabel. I really loved working on this piece. That dress took me a ridiculous amount of time to paint, but I love the color and vibrancy. Let me know what you think in the comments or by hitting the like and subscribe button. Who is your favorite Madrigal? And what do you love about Encanto? It's a great film. I really enjoy it. Hey, I love making art and sculpting here on the internet. I'm making this channel to share my creative process, art encouragement, and some instructional work. If that sounds good to you, subscribe. But really, in the end, just thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And of course, till next time, keep being awesome.